you ever been to Lossiemouth?
Yay!
You ever stood up on Prospect Terrace and looked down at the East Beach and taken in big lungfuls of fresh coastal air and just thought, wow, what a place. Well, that's how I feel, and that's why I do what I do. So I'm one of the development officers for the Lossiemouth Community Development Trust, and along with my job share colleague Kate and our trustees, the Development Trust works with the community to make Lossiemouth a better place to live, work and visit. There's 3 key points in this mission. The first is that we're a community-led organisation. So we're a charity and we work for the benefit of the whole community. Place, we're primarily a place-based organisation, and we're making it better to live, work and visit. So that's a pretty big remit, and we can't do that on our own. So we work with a whole collaboration of a number of different groups and agencies. On the top line here we have our affiliated groups. These are the project groups that we're working very closely with. Shout out to the Men's Shed over there, hello. We've also got community groups across Lossiemouth, and then at the bottom our national and regional stakeholders. So like everyone else here, our story is one of success, setbacks and solutions. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. The biggest achievement of the Trust to date was the project to successfully gain access to the East Beach Bridge, following the failure of the old wooden bridge in 2019. Key individuals have been working to raise awareness of the state of the bridge for many years, and in fact that was one of the main reasons that directly led to the formation of the Trust in 2014. So this is a photo here of May 22, the day the new bridge was opened, and it shows my predecessor Fiona Burse, who a lot of you will know, and some of the trustees. And they're all thrilled with the new £1.8 million bridge that they worked so hard to secure. But this photo also depicts one of our recent challenges, because a year after that photo was taken, all of the trustees shown here had stood down, and Fiona was working towards a well-deserved retirement. So, like everybody here, we have our challenges. The new Board of Trustees slowly forming brought new blood, new skills and new vision, and lots of enthusiasm, but actually little experience in the work and the history of the Trust, or in fact charity governance. If we look at our projects, our most recent strategic 5-year plan was launched in 2022, and in there are a number of long-standing projects driven by feedback from the community. If we look at our 3 flagship projects, the first of them is a skate park, which is a much stated community need, and we're nearly there, but now we just need to find £300,000 of capital funding in order to make that come true. We're also working very closely with Group on the active travel route between Lossiemouth and Hopeman. 17 years in the making so far, probably at least another 5, and we're looking at about a £6 million price tag. And this beautiful building that you see here, this is Station Park in Lossiemouth. We would love to acquire this for the community. We have a vision of an amazing community facility, a destination park to bring people to Lossiemouth with entertainment and retail, and we're looking at around £500,000 to make that vision happen. Maybe 5 years before we see any return. And the community tell us repeatedly that they want it. It's at the top of all of our surveys. But the funders tell us that wanting something is no longer enough. You have to need something, you have to demonstrate a need. So 5 years ago we could have secured funding for this, but in the current climate, with poverty increasing, people need food, they need accommodation, they need employment, more than they need entertainment and somewhere nice to sit on a Sunday afternoon. So all of these projects might require major long-term capital investment, funding that's increasingly hard to secure. So I think probably everybody in this room knows what the last challenge is going to be, is funding. So we operate with one full-time equivalent staff member, as I say, Kate and I job share. We rent an office from a private landlord. It's a fantastic office, it's right in the centre of Lossie, but we don't own any buildings or lands, and we have no assets. We have no wind turbines nearby because the RAF aren't very keen on wind turbines. As such, we're not eligible for any wind farm money. Our core funding relies on an annual grant of around £45,000 from HIE, the bulk of which comes from the Scottish Government's Strengthening Communities programme. And last year, the Scottish Government didn't confirm the SCP funding until July, 4 months into the financial year. So we're really grateful to HIE for supporting us during that uncertainty, because without that, I wouldn't be standing here now. As I speak, we still don't know if we're getting SCP funding for the forthcoming year. HIE have our application and have said that they have indicated they're prepared to support us for the first 4 months if required. So again, we'll be fine till July, but our projects won't be complete by July. Some of them won't be complete for many years. In every development trust, the development officer role is crucial for the successful delivery of our projects. And we talk to our peers in development trusts across Scotland, and the inequity of wind farm funding is intensely frustrating. There are communities receiving hundreds of thousands of pounds of funding. They have multiple staff, they're putting in play parks and community hubs, and they're buying buildings. They're running all sorts of health and wellbeing programmes and arts and culture, thanks to the contributions from their wind farm. But our communities need this too, all of our communities need this. Without the benefits of wind farm money, without the stability of long-term core funding, or the security of an income-generating asset, we're running on fumes, and that's not a sustainable way to operate. It's not all bad news, don't worry. Because we are doing something about that. We are looking at the solutions. We're asking ourselves, how can we deliver sustainable, long-lasting change with limited resources in the current funding environment? First thing we're doing is we're re-engaging. So I mentioned the new board before. They brought new enthusiasm, but crucially they also brought a new willingness to work in cooperation with others, which meant we could break down some long-standing barriers within the community and strengthen our bonds with our stakeholders. We're re-engaging with the community and raising awareness of our work. So last year we ran a number of community engagement events and an online survey, partly to help with the local place plan, but actually, more importantly, to inform our strategy. Firstly, we also brought in some outside help. We tapped into the Accelerate programme and had a consultant come and help us define our vision and our mission, helping us to define our why. And we also engaged a DTAS consultant from the Development Trust Association of Scotland, and she worked with the trustees to facilitate a strategy workshop, giving us a clear list of outcomes around governance, project analysis, income generation. When we think about our projects, we need to diversify. We do remain committed to these big legacy projects that I talked about, but we're also looking at alternative ways to positively impact our community. Are there quick wins? Are there ways that we can generate income from our projects? We do remain place-based and community-led, but what we're finding is that our most impactful and rewarding projects have a far greater emphasis on people. Fiona supported the establishment of the Lossiemouth shed, which has been a fantastic example of a community-led organisation, and they've really prospered, so that's one huge success. Another example is the Visitor Information Centre that you see here. That was opened in our office last year, and over the summer season the volunteers welcomed over 400 visitors and nearly 100 dogs to Lossiemouth, which is great for the town economy, but it turned out to be wonderful for the volunteers as well, increasing their confidence and making new friends. And they've nearly all signed up for our new season, which we're opening in Easter this year. Another example is the Community Gardens project to establish food growing spaces across town. This is such a positive, uplifting project, and it's brilliant to be a part of it. It's relatively new, but it's snowballed as so many people come forward, all wanting to learn about growing food collectively. Thinking about our income generation, looking ahead, this has to be key, because we know now we can't rely on a single source of core funding. Building our unrestricted funds is a key goal, whether that's through trading activities, community fundraising, or alternative sources. One of our trustees is actively involved in the development of renewable energy schemes to bring sustainable benefits to the trust and to the community. Over the past year, we've engaged a lot more with our members and increased our volunteer base to support with community fundraising efforts, and we're continually looking for long-term funding, and as far as possible we'll be incorporating income generating opportunities into our projects. So in conclusion, funding has changed, society has changed, and the needs of our community are changing. So we also need to be able to adapt if we want to deliver lasting, sustainable change in the community. We need to be innovative, be willing to learn from each other and work with others. In the past, our focus was purely place, but it turns out that you can't have place without people, and you can't have people without place. Thank you very much.